the way. We are thrilled to introduce to you our guest speaker for today. She's just 18 years old and matriculated last year from Bali College out in Johannesburg. She's currently doing a B Engineering degree in Industrial Engineering at the University of Stellenbosch, and as a driven and accomplished first-year student there, she is deeply committed to achieving excellence, having earned 7 distinctions during her matric year, and has demonstrated dedication to academic success. She's also very eager to apply her problem-solving abilities and creativity as she pursues her academic journey with the aim of making really significant contributions to the field of engineering and serving as a role model for other Black women who are interested in STEM. Her academic path started at Summit College, and that's when she first experienced success in academics, and that path continued at Kgali College, where her aspirational level to excel beyond her peers blossomed, leading to the receipt of a partial academic scholarship and being able to balance academics and sports successfully. She earned academic and general honors through involvement in netball. Kgali enhanced her leadership skills by captaining the first team, both in grade 11 and the matric year. And this experience has allowed her to gain some essential skills to approach challenges head on and to collaborate effectively. FGLers, our sessions are designed to be interactive, and Mrs. Kgali is excited to engage with all of you with the Q&A session just after she's had a moment to chat to you. Let's all welcome Kgali Mabotja. How are you, Kgali?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on this platform. My heart is so warm. I love seeing all of you on screen with your merchandise. Lihle, please send me a t-shirt my way. I need one. Thank you so much to all of you FGLers, the ambassadors, the proud parents, and of course, Lihle and the team for really getting me up to scratch and allowing me to be here. It's a serious privilege, and I'm very excited to speak to you guys. So I'm Kgali. I'm 18, I'm about to turn 19 in a couple of weeks, and I'm currently in Stellenbosch doing my degree in engineering, and specifically industrial engineering. But I graduated last year from Bolu with 7 distinctions, and I just want to share with you guys how I got there, what it took, and just some tips, some stories, some, trauma that I experienced in getting my results and getting to where I am now. So some background information. I went to Summit College, which is now Pinnacle. It's in the Midrand area. I'm a Midrand girl, born and raised. And then I proceeded to go to Bolu with also Lihle, and that's where I matriculated from. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for really being here. One of my key concepts in life is just to be accountable, and you guys being here, putting in the effort. It's a Saturday. You could be playing with your friends or playing sports or just being at home, but you're choosing to join this platform, really sharpen each other, and just set yourself up for an amazing path to success. So well done to all of you, and to all of the kids that came in the top 5. That's really fantastic. Keep up the good work and just be consistently consistent. So my journey to academic success really started in about grade 6, grade 7, where I started putting in a bit more effort. I never really had troubles with learning. I could understand work in class quite easily. I'd get home, do a bit of homework, do a bit of studying, and then I'd pass. But I wasn't getting my distinctions, my 90s, until I really started being like, I might actually be capable of doing this. So grade 6, grade 7, I started doing all of my homework, putting in some extra effort, and there the results were coming. And I got my academic awards in grade 6, grade 7, and then high school came. And I was going to a new school, new faces, new people, and grade 8s. It's okay to adjust. It's okay to struggle. I want to tell you now that if you were getting 70s, 80s in prep school, and then now you're in high school and you're getting 60s and you're getting 70s and you're stressing, take a deep breath. You're fine. And it's all about just dipping your toes into the water. It's like getting into a swimming pool. You put your toes in, you get used to it, put your feet, put your legs, and then you're struggling to get your chest into the water. But then once you're in, you're swimming and you're comfortable and you really start enjoying the water. So if things are tough now, it's fine. Lean on your friends, lean on your family, and you will get through it. And grade 9, things are going to start coming together. Grade 10, so on and so forth. And my matrics this year is going to be tough. You're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to lose sleep, but it's all going to be worth it at the end of the day. and you have to track your burnout, because I burnt out before finals and it was very tough to bounce back. So I just want to emphasize that if you're reaching that breaking point where you're like, I'm pushing myself a bit too hard, stop. Because rest is not being lazy. Rest is extremely productive. I highly recommend take breaks, sleep in, see your friends, see your family, and enjoy the year, because it's your last year of high school. Go to your sports games, go to the inter-house, just have fun, but still keep yourself locked into your academics. So a bit about me is I love netball. I did horse riding for almost 10 years. Netball has always been my bread and butter. I played in prep school. I played in high school. I captained the first team. I was privileged to captain the first team while I was still in grade 11. And then I was re-elected again in matric. And that is really what saved me from myself and from self-destruction, because you need to have balance. Even now in university, you have to have friends, you have to have going out, you have to have going on picnics, going on walks. You can't just be study, 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 because that's how people burn out. So really key tip is with playing sport and with also academics, you need to maintain an equilibrium. So what I did is I would use my practices as my rest time, going in, practicing with my team, going on that run, going to the gym, and then getting home, deep breath, and then dialing back into the work. So if you're playing sport and you're also balancing academics and you're finding it really, really difficult, it is. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would play first team and also be an academic star. So I just want to really emphasize not to put too much pressure on yourselves. And also high school is so short, it flies by. I feel like I was in grade 8 yesterday and now I'm just finished writing my first set of A1s, which are university exams. And I'm just like, wow, where did all the time go? And I wish I enjoyed high school a little bit more than I did. Because don't pray away the time. You're gonna love being in high school, I promise you. So I have a couple key points on just what my principles are, and that's discipline, accountability, and being realistic. If it's the night before and you really, really don't know the work, go to sleep. Go to sleep, because you're not going to understand work in a couple of hours, and there's nothing worse than writing when you've only had 2 hours of sleep, because the brain doesn't function at its optimum when you're tired. So please get rest. All my term 3 or 4 schools, I think you're about to write exams now. And please, please get a good 6 hours of sleep every single night. If your study time is between 9 and let's say 1 o'clock in the morning, then during the afternoon, you need to sleep, because I'm a night owl. I would always study between 7 and about midnight. And that's when I really get work done. So if I'd be sleeping during the day. But please, please don't pull all-nighters. It's not worth it. You may get a good result, but then afterwards, you're just going to feel terrible. And if to write the next day, then you're already setting yourself up for failure. You're already putting yourself 5 steps back. So please, guys, get rest, sleep in on the weekends. You don't have to wake up at 7 o'clock on a Saturday to study. You're not setting yourself up for having energy. And also my key must-haves. So if everyone can take notes now for past paper apps, it is Saints Maths. So www.saintsmaths.com, I think. You can access it via Google, Safari, anything. And then also an app called Don't Fail. And these all have past papers, and they also have memos from grade 8 until matric. And then Saints Maths is purely maths, but it's a fantastic place. You get past papers from your top schools in the country. And that's really going to be your go-to, especially matrics and also grade 11s now. That's going to be your saving grace for maths. And then also getting a whiteboard, an A4 or an A3 one. That also really helps. I don't know what the science is behind using a whiteboard, but jot down your notes, draw pictures, draw diagrams on the whiteboard. It really helps the information get in there, because it kind of mimics the classroom setting. And also teach yourself when you work, teach your friends, teach your parents. And I really want to emphasize with parents, please, please engage in your children's work, because when we're explaining the work to you, it helps us actually gain the work a lot better. And also engage in really insightful conversations, critical conversations. I know with my parents, if we're sitting at the dinner table, we're going to engage in politics, we're going to engage in current affairs, And if there's literally like a math problem and they're like, hey, let's try and solve this math problem together. And that really does train your brain into starting to think for yourself, starting to think deeper, think critically, and just get you onto a path of being really, really logical. And that just makes tests so much easier because you already have a background of being able to think for yourself. Get your highlighters, colored pens, matrix. Go buy a new set of highlighters because you're going to need them. Highlight every single key point in your exams, in your tests, in your notes. Color code things because the brain does work really, really well with color. And that's what I did. I have sticky notes. Put your sticky notes on your bedroom wall, on the fridge, on the microwave, wherever you need it because it's necessary. And it also just helps to have gentle reminders of your work. So in my room, there's sticky notes on the walls by my bed. And when I wake up, I see, I'm like, oh, okay, that's the formula for ideal gas. Cool, cool. Ideal gas is this, this, this. And it's not like hard studying, but it's still just seeing the work, interacting with it, and having it really stick into your brain. And I have like a step-by-step on how to do exam prep. And that's what I used, especially in my matric year and also in grade 11, because grade 11, term 3 exams, it's a push. And if your exams are not spread out, then really it's a go in, study, come back, and keep it pushing. So I recommend printing out a A3 schedule. And on that schedule, it could be just a regular calendar of the month or of the 2 months that you're writing. Write down when your exams are. And then about 2 weeks before you start writing, start saying, okay, Monday, I'm going to do math calculus. Tuesday, I'm going to go over English theory of flight, or I'm going to go over Zulu language, Afrikaans, poetry, and start off with the areas that you're the weakest in. Because the worst thing is it's the night before and you don't really know the topic, and now you have to cram and you're stressing and you panic. So the best part is really just to prepare ahead. And if you're struggling with a concept, ask for help. The thing that really got me through matric was my teachers and having friends that also really understood the work. Guys, ask for help. Parents, if your child is struggling, please allow them to ask for help and encourage them to speak to their teachers. I know I was a bit scared in my grade 10 and grade 9 years to go and ask a teacher, but my dad was like, nope, just go ask. And if worst thing that they can say is no, but they're not going to say no because teachers want to help you. They want to get you to that end goal. So please, especially matrics and grade 11s now, if you're stuck on a topic, ask for help, book an extra lesson, find YouTube videos. What's really good is Khan Academy, The Organic Tutor, and Kevin Math Science. So please jot down those 3, watch their YouTube videos. They go over problems, they explain really, really well, and they do practical examples that you're going to find in the test. And especially for maths and physics, Kevin Math Science he's the guy. He's the best person in South Africa. He's my favorite guy. And he really, really got me through my matric year. And so, yes, please ask your teachers for help. If your friend is getting 90s, don't be shy to ask for help, because I understand in being an achiever that we tend to feel a bit shy or a bit embarrassed to ask for help. Don't, because we only build each other up when we carry each other up the podium. So please help each other, ask for help. If you're stuck and you're like, I really don't know, then consult YouTube. Take notes, take it to YouTube, like, okay, I don't understand XYZ. Don't just go and say, I don't understand. You need to have like specific things that you don't get. And if you really don't understand anything, then ask for a reteach if it's possible, or consult a tutor, consult your friends or the siblings, or whoever really is in the community that can help you. So that's 2 weeks in advance. Your problem areas, jot them down, know exactly what it is, and then go ask for help, get your extra lessons, get your tutors in. And then now, about a week before exams, gain confidence. So do your areas where like really for that test, you got 90%, start redoing those questions, because just because you got 90 doesn't mean that you're going to get 90 again in the exam. So you need to go there, refresh it, but gain confidence. You know how to do this. Also, scan your papers, because I know some schools you can't take your papers home, your class tests or exams. Take a scan of them, take pictures, print them out again, and then keep them inside of a flip file. Go over where you went wrong, go over where you're like, if you got 2 out of 3, see why you got 2 out of 3, and then aim to get 3 out of 3. especially for your level 2 and 3 questions. You're always going to get your 3 out of 5s, your 4 out of 5s. Fix that. Get your 5 out of 5s, and also get your level 1 marks. If you're taking physics right now, definitions, learn them. Cram them the night before, drill them into your brain, do Quizlets. If it's possible, I can share my Quizlets with you guys, the matrics and the grade 11s. It's literally just definitions, drill them in, do charades with your parents or do charades with your siblings or even with your study group. Do the charades, what is molar volume, then you answer, you make it fun, you make it interactive, and that way learning doesn't feel tedious. Because I know towards the end of matric, learning gets very, very tedious. You're tired of it. You're like, I want to go on vacation. I want to go on matric dance, and I don't want to study. But when you make learning fun, that's really what goes the extra mile. And also, do past papers. That is your saving grace. Rather, do past papers than spend 2 hours doing theory. Because even now, I just finished writing my A1s and I spent too much time on theory. And then I got into the paper and I was like, oh no, I don't know how to do this question. The theory is there, but I can't apply it. So please, please, past papers, use the websites that I gave you. If you can't do a question, highlight it, skip it, come back, ask your teacher, ask a friend, hey, how do I do this question? Show me your step-by-steps, and also do questions step-by-step. Don't just have a willy-nilly way of doing things, because I learned with steps. So I'd say, to do this question, you do step 1, 2, 3, and write them down in the test, because examiners also find marks when you've written down steps on how to do things. So please write down all of your steps, write down every single calculation, every constant, anything that you think might be right, because your intuition is most of the time going to be correct. Please trust yourselves. Everyone here from grade 8 to 12, your instincts are good. You're here for a reason. You're here because you're capable. You know what you're doing, and trust yourself. If you're in the test and you're like, oh no, I don't know what the answer is, write down the first thing that comes to mind, because it's probably going to be right. And don't scratch out. Unless you know it's completely wrong, but don't scratch out, because you are going to get marks there. And fish for marks. Don't ever be afraid to go there. Even if you got 98%, go through and be like, hey, why didn't I get full marks for this? Fish for marks. Be arrogant. It's fine in that sense. Really do fish for marks, because you're going to get them. And if you don't, then now you know how to get 100% next time. If you're sitting on a 60, fish for those marks. Get a 65, next time aim for 70. And also just being realistic. If you're sitting on a 60 now, don't aim for an 80 for the next test, just because you don't want to set yourself up for failure. But I know all of you guys are super bright, super intelligent, you're probably sitting on your 70s now, or 70 to 80 cusp, and that's the hardest one to bridge. Because it's easy to get a 90, but it's not easy to get an 80. And that logic is not very sound, but it's true. And so getting from your 78 to your 80 is very, very difficult, because it takes that one extra step. You're reaching into a new level of just deeper understanding. And that's really where it goes into doing lots of past papers, really going into the nitty-gritty of what you're not understanding and getting that key link to get the entire papers to come together. Because I just finished writing now engineering mathematics, and we write TAT tests every week, which are like baby class tests. And I was realizing that I just kept on getting 40, or just kept on getting 50. And I was like, no, man, how can I get to a 60? I'm missing this key link. And what I did is I did Khan Academy for a full day, watched all of those YouTube videos, and I realized, I can't do limits. That's what my issue is. And from doing that, that's when I really realized that, no, man, that's the missing link. And in the next test, I got my 60. And that's really just what helps you realize where you're going wrong. You need to always find that missing link. And yes, that is, sorry guys, I tend to go on tangents, but these are very important topics. And then the day before your exams, just past papers, and also going over your key theory. So it's past papers, key theory, and definitions. That's the day before the past paper. You can't be learning new work just because you're stressing yourself out by doing that. So matriculants, especially now with your finals, the day before every single final is revision. Don't learn new things. It's not going to go in. You're going to stress yourself out. So the day before, purely revision, do about one past paper is enough. See where you went wrong, and then go and redo those questions. Maybe do another 5 questions that are the same. If it's theory-wise, watch your YouTube videos, consult your friend, and then really understand it, and then go into your test confident. Then also the morning of your tests, I couldn't study the morning of my tests just because it would stress me out. I would like to go to bed, wake up knowing that I'm going to pass. Also, confidence. Confidence is key. You've gotten here so far. You've gotten here for a reason, because if it was that easy, then everyone would be an achiever. So really do have confidence in yourself. You're capable. You're 100% worthy of doing it. You're not a fraud. It's not a fluke that you've been doing well. You've been doing well because you deserve it and because you work hard and because you're capable. So please trust in yourself, have confidence, go in knowing that you're going to pass and knowing that you're going to get the result that you want. And if you don't, then you just go back to the drawing board and you start again. And that's really what's going to take you guys far. But I know you guys are just so capable. This is really, it's such a beautiful initiative. And I'm so proud of Lisa for starting this. And you're all going to really be the future global leaders. And it's just really beautiful to watch. So please trust yourselves, have confidence. And that's what's going to take you all the way. So my dues for just academics of getting sleep, resting, spending time with family. Guys, family time, friendship time, whoever just makes you happy and whoever makes your heart feel warm and just bleed custard, spend time with them. You need to put your brain on rest. You can't always just be on academic. So I would go on picnics, or my friends would come over, we'd watch TV together, we'd play sport, we'd go to the mall, we watch movies, I'd go to breakfast with my parents, spend time with my sister, and that just recharges your battery to reset. Let's start again. Let's take a deep breath. Everything's going to be okay. And then you jump back into it. Let's see what else is here. And also reaching out to family, parents, and guardians. Please continue to encourage the kids, just because it really does mean a lot. I know now, because I'm always stressed, because this engineering is very difficult. And I don't think I was necessarily prepared for this amount of work and just the level of difficulty. But every single day, if I say, oh, I'm stressed, then my dad will literally send me a message. I'll send you what he sent me on Friday evening after I got my Eng math result back and it wasn't what I wanted. And I was very, very disappointed because I put in the work. I did everything that could have been done. And I still didn't get the results. And he literally said, failure is the best teacher. It's difficult to fathom, but please try to learn from failure so that you can self-correct for success. It's expected at the level of education you've embarked on to have periodic setbacks. You'll pull yourself up, dust yourself off, and get on. After a while, you'll realize that that's how life works. Don't despair. Don't get discouraged. In fact, fight even harder. And I took those words so literally. And I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and I went over the test. I redid the paper. I was calm. I was in my room. I was highlighting. I was doing my step-by-steps. And then I redid the paper and I got a 60 instead of getting the 40 that I got when I initially did the paper. And exam stress is real. I'm not a good tester. I can understand the work at home. I can do the practice, do the homework, be acing it. Then I get into the test and I'm like, oh no, it's test time. Panic. And then you go blank. And it's happened to me, especially this year, because the workload is so hectic and it's a lot of pressure. And I've realized that it's putting myself down, because now I'd be failing tests that I wouldn't fail if I just did them at home. So please learn to start relaxing, taking a deep breath. If you must take, there's rescue. There's also magnesium powder that other kids also take before tests, before big exams, to just help calm down the nerves and really get you focused and ready to write. I do think that there are sometimes placebos, but if it works for you, use the placebo effect if it's going to help you. And also just always reminding yourself that you are loved by people. I keep photos of my family in my room and I look at them every morning and I'm like, I really have just the best people in my life. And that's what keeps me going. It's what keeps me driven. I want to make them proud. I want to make myself proud. I want to prove to myself that I'm not a fraud. I'm not an imposter. I really do deserve to be here. And I really encourage you guys to do the same. Lean on your family, lean on your friends, lean on your teachers, lean on your community. Allow them to build you up. Allow them to encourage you, because you can't do this alone. Matrix, you can't do it alone unless you're really just a superhuman, super brain. But I could have never done it alone. Getting those 7 distinctions, every single distinction was given to me each step, by my friend, by my parent, by my teacher. They all contributed to that. So it's all of our distinctions. And just be kind to yourself. Dealing with failure is something that I'm still learning how to do. Because I know had I gotten my results that I'm getting now last year, I would have completely broken down, shut down, cried, sulked, all of the above, and just beaten myself up till I couldn't even do anything anymore. But there really is just such a beautiful jump between high school and university, and between prep and high school, where you learn to really accept failure and move on from it. You're not going to end up beating yourself up as much. Because now I failed a few of my A1s, and I was like, oh, I tried, I put in the work, I'm going to work harder next time. And that really is, it's such a beautiful thing to learn. So please don't beat yourselves up, guys. Learning from failure is the best kind of learning. It's better than using a textbook. So whenever you fail, whenever you get that 6 and you really wanted an 80, it's fine. Okay, pick yourself up, see where you went wrong, and just try again the next day. And also, life is not on a time schedule. You don't have to get 80% now, don't have to get 90% now, but as long as you're building up to it, it's not, life is full of many little battles. But at the end of the day, the war is the most important. You can lose battles, but what matters is the war. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So please, especially matrics, grade 11s, take it easy. Your portfolio marks are not the end all and be all. So now when you guys, I think you're going to be writing either prelims. Yeah, it's going to be prelims now. And your prelim is important, yes. But if you get a 60 for a prelim, if you get a 50 if you fail, it's completely fine. My maths and physics prelims, I got, I think, 71 and I got 76. And I was like breaking down. I was like, oh no, it's over. I'm never going to get a distinction. And lo and behold, distinction. And I also got into engineering. So please, your prelims, your portfolio marks, it's just a stepping stone. It doesn't actually matter that much. And it's really just to see what you know and what you don't know. And if you get an 80% for your prelim, that's fantastic. Now, let's keep on building onto that, keep on gaining confidence, keep practicing, and you're going to be fine in your final. But I really just want to emphasize that not doing well in prelims is completely okay. And prelims are hard. Prelims are really, really, really difficult. And the prelim was a lot harder than the final, for sure. And also trust yourself. I think we always tend to doubt ourselves as achievers. We always think that we're going to fail, or like we didn't do enough. And you did. Because I went home after every single final going, nope, it's done. I got a 70 and I'm not going to get my distinctions. But I was the opposite. And just try not to psych yourselves out. Confidence is key. Confidence and accountability, key. So I have a few just tips and tricks that I used. I've always used this, but specifically for grade 10 is your subject choice. It is quite important. It's okay to drop subjects, pick up other ones. I didn't do that. So in grade 10, I took geography, I took business, I took physics, and then I took core maths. Physics and core maths, please. I really do implore you guys to take physics and to take core maths, just because applying for university is so much easier and people want to accept you. And if you want to do a BCom, if you want to do really anything, just take your physics and your maths. If you don't need it, it's fine, but you have it. Write your NBTs as well, grade 11s, please. I know it's not all of the degrees need them. I didn't need them, and I also didn't write them. I know I'm not practicing what I'm preaching, but I wish I had, because it also helps for bursaries. So please, grade 10, subject choice, take your maths, take your science, and if you can, take AP math. If you want to go into STEM, AP math is the way, because right now, had I taken AP math, I would have found Eng math a lot easier, because it is quite matric AP math revision with some extra bits and bobs. So please, physics, maths, AP math. Those three, and you can do anything. And then also, grade 11s, do your community service hours this year. Get it done. Once it's done, it's in your portfolio and you're good to go. So get your community service done, get your hours, have it just be done, do your allo tasks and do them well. Because once they're done, it's done. Then once you write that allo final, early-ish matric, then you're done with the subject and it's a weight lifted off of your shoulders, because now you're like, okay, I've got 5 more to go, 6 more to go. Then also grade 11, start looking for your bursaries now. Start doing research, just look around a bit. really scour the internet, and then start jotting them down. Then as soon as applications come, then start applying for bursaries. And then also, please don't be too stressed about not knowing what you want to study, because it is tough and you're only 17, 16. You're not going to know what you want to do in your life, and that's completely okay. I didn't know. I applied to law, I applied to engineering, I applied to BSc, I applied to accounting, just because it's really good to keep your options open, and it's okay not to have a plan. Just plan to succeed. So please, grade 11, start researching degrees, really have fun with it, explore different avenues. And then matrics, just buckle down, work, have the balance, play sport, or go on walks, do things with your friends, but still just really work hard. It's 1 year, you put in the work, and then once it's done, you feel amazing about it. Trust me, it's hard. You're gonna cry. You're gonna be like, I can't do this, but you can, and it's all gonna come together. I promise you. I even thought I was gonna like not get into university. I was like, it's done. I'm getting 60s, I'm getting 50s. One test, for a math test, I got 42, and I said, I'm never gonna get a distinction. But look where I am now. So please, guys, just put in the work, keep pushing, and if things go south, it's fine. You have time, and also finals are gonna carry you. And then also really just for revision purposes, I know matric toward the end, it does get a bit revision heavy. If you're gonna get to class and you're gonna revise things that you already know, I'm not saying skip class, but I'm saying manage your time wisely, because there's not enough hours in the day, and it only gets worse in university. I wish that we had at least 4 more hours in the day, but we don't. So please, time management, learn it early, because I'm only learning it now properly, and that's why I'm struggling a bit with time management in university. But in matric, grade 11, even grade 10s, start scheduling out your days. Start saying, okay, I'm going to put 2 hours toward this, 2 hours toward that, and then really start getting it together, know how to manage your time, know how to stick within your time frames, and then you're really going to be set. So I think I have spoken quite a bit. I'm seeing lots of questions popping up. I'm very happy to answer them. And I think I'm keen to answer some questions.
Oh, Kgali, thank you so, so much. Listen, I love just how authentic and honest you are with this interaction. I feel like every single one of the FGLers feel like they can see a part of them in the stories that you've related in your journey to where you are now. I love the fact that you're also so very honest, and a lot of the FGLers are leaning into the points of self-doubt. Let's start off with Unaba's question. Unaba says, hi, Sis Kgali. Term 1 just went by so quickly. It ended, and we managed to end it off with a bang, but I literally feel like the work was so little, and now I feel like there's so much more expected as we step into the exam season. We are in a lot of pressure, and of course there's fear of disappointing and not maintaining my current level of academic success. This is really giving me sleepless nights, and I feel fatigued all day. How do I resolve all these things? So there's fear of failure, there's the pressure mounting because it's a big, big term, and also the fatigue that comes with pushing so hard.
So, hi, I've been there, I am there, and it really is just a matter of keeping your head up. You are going to have sleepless nights, but you have to remember that term 1 is very short, and I also just think it doesn't really set you up that well for term 2. I'll be honest with you, but you are capable. As soon as term 2 comes, first day of class, buckle down, make your notes, pay attention in class, get home, revise, and just stay on top of the work. And you'll get there. There's no recipe. The only thing that you can do is just stay on top of things, manage your time, study, put in the work. And if you don't do that well, it's fine, because then there's term 3. And that's when you're going to really pick yourself up, especially now with term 2. It's sport, it's hectic, it's stressful, but just keep yourself above water. Just keep treading. And if you're feeling like, no, I'm tired, rest. Rest is the best medicine, I promise you. And you're going to be fine.
Thank you, Kgali. I think the important thing also is that planning for success. So you mentioned that before each exam season, you'd put out a calendar and be able to start with the weak points. So the subjects you were struggling the most with, and starting with those first. And then by the time you're writing a certain exam, it's just a point of revision. And Moto wants to know, how many hours did you put in your studies per day? So never mind just the exam preparation, but now just throughout the weeks before exam season starts, how did you make sure that you were prepped, and how much time did you spend preparing just for the next school day, the next school week?
So with me, with my subject choice, geography, business are very theory heavy, so it didn't require that much time because my brain just processes theory a lot better than doing application. So I'd say for about maths and physics, every day I'd just try sneak in an hour. So I'd maybe just do a homework example or go over the classwork that we did in the class that I was like not too sure about. So I'd say give yourself a good hour and a half to 2 hours of maths and science every day, no matter what. And then if you're writing a test the next day, then focus on your test that's at hand. But if really you're writing on Thursday, it's a Tuesday, and it's during the week, and you get home and you're like, let me put some work in, do a past, not even a past paper, just go over the classwork, read the notes again. And if you're stuck on something, jot it down. Then in class the next day, ask that question. So just it's putting in little bits every single day. I can't study for 6 hours every day. My brain can't cope with that. So I split it up into little 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. And that's how I managed to stay afloat, but also pay attention in class because class time matters. And if you don't understand, pop up your hand, ask your question, because class time is really, really important. Make your notes. Don't just sit there. And I also tended to do that a lot, especially toward the end. And now I have to get home and then redo the work when I could just do it in class during that time. So to just sum it up, about 2 hours a day, and then also paying attention in class.
The class time is learning time. You're not
Yes.
just showing up to be present, but you're actively learning. You touched on how important that relationship with your teachers is, and that looking for those extra marks, asking questions because you've gone home, redone the work, and you see where your limitations are. If some of these FGLers are a little bit shy, how do they get over that? Is there like a simple way to be like, okay, I'm just going to close my eyes and ask this question? Or do you gradually build up that confidence to be able to engage with your teachers? How do you build that good relationship?
So I was also very, very shy. I was like, no, I'm scared. I don't want to go and ask. And I'll ask my parents, please go and ask for me or send an email. But it really is just, so have something to ask. Because I think also a lot of being shy is that you're not quite sure what you want to ask. Then you're scared that you're going to look like you don't know what you're talking about. And I understand that sense of feeling inferior. So what I would do is I'd literally just take the question paper and then just say, I don't understand question 1B. And then just go up and just be like, take your courage, deep breath and be like, hi, ma'am. Hi, sir. Please help me with question 1B. And I promise you, they're going to help you. And just build up, bite the bullet. It's scary. It's very, very scary. Bite the bullet, go to specific questions, and I promise you, they'll be eager to help.
All right. And Lilita wants to know, Sis Kgali, how do you control your panic in the exam room now? Now you're in the exam, there's a little bit of anxiety. How do you manage that?
So I'm still actually learning to master this, but it really is sitting there. And then before they hand out the papers, I sit in my chair and I take 3 deep breaths. So I go 1, 2, 3, in and out. I put down my pencil and I put away my stationery kit. I put it on the side and I just have my empty desk. Then I start to remember my exam number. So I will go, okay, my exam number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that I know for certain. And it helps me just be like, okay, confident. You know your exam number. You got here on time and you're in the venue. You're okay. You know your stuff. Also, I look at the time. I'm like, okay, the time was 7:15. So I'm fine. We're starting in 5 minutes. Calm down. You got this. Then I'll also just start like saying things that I know for sure. So I'll start doing definitions in my head, going, okay, molar volume is 1, 2, 3, gravitational constant is 1, 2, 3. And then just really being like, I know where I am, I know my surroundings, and I'm gonna be fine. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, leaning in on trusting yourself. You're capable, you can do it. A very important question from Mulukanyi Sobeze. Hi, Sis Kgali, how did you manage to eliminate distractions?
Sorry, please can you repeat that?
Lukanyiso wants to know, how did you manage to eliminate distractions? So being distracted within your goal.
Okay. I'm still managing to really hone in on that skill. It really is just having goals. So I would be like, okay, so for this test, I want to get 85%. And so my goal would just be, okay, let me get home, study, work, go to netball practice, come back home, and then also screen time. Manage your screen time very, very well. So from 10 p.m., my phone goes on to do not disturb. And then that just starts to train you into not checking your phone that much because the notification doesn't come in. And also having friends that also keep you accountable. My friends, if I know that if they can see me and I'm like, I'm going out or something, they'll be like, hey, friend, let's stay home and let's study together. So also just surrounding yourself with people that want to see you do well, that also going to help you keep you into that good path, and also scheduling. If it's there on the list, I have to do it because my brain wants me to scratch off that item on the list. So maybe just write down what you need to do. And then that's going to help you just to stay on track, stay in lane. And yeah, try that out. And then also please let me know if that helps.
I like that a lot, but it also answers the question of procrastination then, being accountable to yourself and having a circle of friends that keep you accountable. But for instance, when you know you have to do something, but you are in the habit of putting that off till last minute, how did you get rid of that habit?
So again, it's making lists and literally saying, fill in question number 2.1, write it down and have it there big on your wall. And now like, oh no, I need to do this. And then every single time that you're going to walk past that list, it's going to be there. And it's going to be like, let me just get it done. So I've never really had issues with doing things last minute just because I stress out when it's last minute. So I don't think I'm necessarily the best person to give advice on this, just because I enjoy doing my work ahead, because I don't enjoy the panic at the end. And also don't be comfortable in being panicked. That's also maybe a good point. Get uncomfortable at the fact that you're stressing and then do something. So yeah,
Okay.
I hope that answers.
I love that. So Babalwe wants to know, he says, Kgali, during exam time, you're finding the paper so easy and you're excited, but you end up making lots of mistakes because you're now rushing. You're looking at the class, you're looking at the questions. Sometimes you don't finish writing. Multiple choice questions can be very difficult, more tough than the longer written form questions. How do you deal with this dilemma? Look, you know the work.
Oh, that's a fantastic question, because it's exactly what I had to deal with and what I'm still dealing with now. So it really is, after doing your past papers, you know which questions you do well in. So as soon as you get the paper, don't even look at the multiple choice. Completely just skip to the question that you know that you can do. If you know that in physics, question 2, you can always do it. Start off there, read the questions, start kind of answering them in your head. That way, as soon as the paper starts, you do question 2. If you know that question 6, circuits, is your thing, look at the circuits part of the paper when you get the paper, read it. As soon as the paper starts, do that question and then do a multiple choice or do your weakest ones last. Because I never used to finish my papers. And even now, I still don't finish my papers. But what I have filled in is correct because I did the stuff that I'm good at first and within a good time. And also plan out your papers. So if it's a 3-hour paper, do section A in 1 hour, section B 2 hours, section C 2 hours. Or if you know that you're better at section A, then maybe do section A, 45 minutes, section B, hour and 15, so on and so forth. So it really is just about training yourself to write well. It's not going to happen overnight. So start now, even during the holidays or even now during prelims or whatever you're writing now. When you're doing the past papers, time yourself. See how long it takes you to do every single section and then fit in that time well into your time frame that the exam is actually going to be in. And then if the question is hard, if you know that multiple choice is not my thing, don't even look at it until last. And there's always a chance that you're going to get it right, especially with multiple choice and the physics one, because that one is very, very hard. So leave it till last. Then if it's really like, I don't know it, guess. Your instincts are going to help you out. Just guess. And yeah, that should help you.
Yeah, right. I love that because it means that you're gathering the most marks in the questions that you're confident about. So you're guaranteeing a certain percentage before you get to the stuff that you're unsure of. All right, Sis Kgali, I wanted to know what advice you can give to someone who has a short attention span, especially when there's repetition of a certain subject.
Also a very good question, because I also used to struggle with this. It's studying for 30 minutes, take a 15-minute break. Study for 30 minutes, take a 15-minute break, and then also using the whiteboard and then doing mind maps. So that if now work is overlapping, link it all together. Because the lovely thing about high school is that somehow everything is going to link. If you take business, if you take geo, they're gonna somehow merge together and then like gather a sense of logic. So then now you know that if question A is gonna come up in this one and in this one, you can link it to both. That you're not like that way you're not having to repeat things all the time and all the other subjects. And take breaks, do 30 minutes in, 15 minutes out, 30 minutes in, 15 minutes out, and then link. Because there's no point in learning 5 separate things when you could just learn 3 here and then 1 here, and then now you've made your workload so much smaller. It also makes it easier to go into your brain, and you can apply it even better.
Love that. Our Nam says, this is Kgali, how do you deal with the pressure of having too much homework to a point where you now feel like you're behind in the actual schoolwork because of the homework? So you feel like you're not learning and prepping for the next thing because you're doing too much homework. Is there such a thing?
There is such a thing. And especially I found it in the younger grades that there was lots of homework. So what I do is that if a question is quite easy, I don't do it. I do the questions that are going to challenge me. Unless the homework is for marks, then it's really like just push. But if the homework is not for marks, do the questions that you find a bit more challenging so that you can actually challenge yourself to think a bit more critically in that subject. So what I will do is I'll only do half of the questions of each homework, and then that way I can get it all done in one night. And then also do homework during class. If like let's say you're doing calculus and then the homework is on calculus, in class, learn, and then also be like, hey, I saw this in the homework, let me start doing it. That way you're getting things done at like you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, essentially. And don't do every single question. If really something is so basic and easy, skip over it because you know it. Then you're going to come back to it when you're prepping for the exam.
Okay, love that. When you are studying so hard, this is from Yaka, and you still see no difference in your results. You mentioned this actually about the difficulty between leaping over a certain cusp. So you've gotten to 70, but how do you leap over to that 80? Or you're stuck in the 50 bracket. How do you stay motivated when you know you're putting in the work, but you're not seeing the results?
So I actually am dealing with that currently, and it's so applicable to me. I'm changing my study methods. And also I'm changing where I study. So I no longer study in my room. And now I go to Eng, I go to the faculty and I study there, or I study outside. And sometimes just changing something as simple as your surroundings is going to help the work go in differently. And then also change your methods. If you are used to doing past papers, maybe start reading a bit more theory. If you're doing a bit more theory, start doing a bit more past papers. Interact with your friends. If you have a friend that's doing the same subject, do the question together and then see how they're doing it. And then perhaps their method is also going to help you now to understand it a bit deeper. Then you can apply it, and then maybe it's going to take you up to the different to the different academic bracket. And then also just wanting it. You need to be hungry. That's the thing about academic excellence. You have to be hungry for it. You need to be willing to put in the grind, put in that effort, and then getting the rewards, because you are going to get the rewards at some point. It might not be now, but at some point you are going to do it. Just keep being hungry, keep pushing, ask your friends for help, look at different ways of doing it, watch your YouTube, and then change up your study ways. If you're going to not do a past paper, watch someone else doing a past paper on YouTube. Kevin Math Science goes over full IEB and NSC past papers. So watch that, but watch it in increments. So watch maybe 30 minutes, take a break, another 30 minutes, take a break, one section, take a break, then do another question that's similar to that. And I promise you that is going to help.
Okay, all right. And now the question of that balance at home. We all come from very different home environments, very different requirements on what we need to do in terms of chores and things like that. This one says, Ms. Kgali, how do I deal with pressure, for instance, at home? You got chores, you're coming home from school, and you still have a mountain of work to do. At the end of the day, as well, you're a child, you must contribute to the household, but how do you do that balance?
The best advice that I could give is to just schedule, and then like if you know that you have to get home and now you must mop the floor, that's just an example, then say in your schedule, okay, I'm going to get home, I'm going to do my chores, I'm going to take a 30-minute break, then I'm going to do 20 minutes of studying. Then after I'm going to do my other chore, then I'm going to take an hour break, eat my lunch or eat my snack, and then start studying again. It really does help to schedule, because work gets very, very overwhelming. Work, life, friends, everything gets very, very overwhelming when you don't have a schedule and when you feel like you're just meandering. So please take a deep breath, get out a pen and paper, and then write down everything that you have to do, and then just see where can I fit this into my day and what's realistic for me to get done, because sometimes you can't get everything done, and that's fine. You can always catch up somehow, and trust yourself. Again, have confidence. Those are like my two just key, really just key principles. Is it's okay for you not to get everything done, because at some point it is going to come back and then you're going to get it.
Sis Kgali, what is the best study techniques you used to master maths and physics?
So maths and physics was watching Kevin Math Science. So literally my routine was I would sit there, watch him do section 1, and then see how he does it, and then take another paper and then do similar questions. Then see if I'm applying those same principles to the question paper at hand. And again, it was just all past papers. So maths and science, literally I did every single past paper from 2017 all the way up to 2022. And I did both the subs and the actual paper. And granted, yes, there's not lots of time, but don't do every single question. So if you know that you're very good at organic chem, skip all the organic chem sections. If you're good at circuits, skip all the circuits questions, because you know the work. So past papers, past papers, past papers. Saints Maths, Kevin Math Science, don't fail. Check on your school's Google Classrooms or whichever platforms that you guys use. Ask all the kids for their past papers, and really just put them down and then just start doing.
Okay. Now, also going back to dealing with disappointment and failure, you, Sis Kgali, Victoria's asking, you mentioned that you once got 40-something% for a maths paper. How did you deal with the comparisons to other students that were achieving very high results, getting distinctions, for instance?
Yep. So, I enjoy having a good cry. And not even to be in like a concerning way. I will get home and I will cry about it. I'll throw my little fit. Then afterwards, I'm like, okay, I've cried. That nervous energy is out. That disappointing energy is out. Let me start working again. And you're not going to get to a point where you don't beat yourself up. Unfortunately, it's human nature. And especially as overachievers, we tend to put too much pressure on ourselves. And when things don't go well, we times it by 2. So it really is just believing in yourself, and then also looking at how much you have achieved. Yes, I got that 40% fail, but on the other hand, I got 80% for physics, or I got 90% for business. So it's just reminding yourself that I'm only disappointed because I'm used to doing well. So therefore, I can do well again. And once you get into that mindset and just knowing that you've gotten here so far, and you've gotten here because you've worked hard, because you deserve it, therefore you can continue. And you're never not going to be disappointed. So try it out, have your little sulking moment, and then just be like, well, I've gotten to this point. I'm disappointed because I know that I'm smart. So let me apply the smartness and do better the next test.
I love that. Sis Kgali, in terms of studying, do you think it's wise to be steps ahead of your teacher, or should you go according to her pace?
I've never studied ahead, just because I prefer to have it being taught to me first, then I can start practicing. But if it works for you, then do it. There are some people that I know that also achieve very well and they work ahead and it works for them. I think try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I've never used that method before, just because I think it's very effective when you stand there, when you sit there in class and then your teacher's telling you the work and they're doing examples, then you can see how they apply it. Then you can apply it the same way or in a similar way and just have like a reference. I can't work without a reference. So I think try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then go back to the drawing board.
Okay, all right. I'm actually, Sis Kgali, what challenges were you likely to encounter in reaching your goals, and how did you deal with them? What can we do to stay focused and motivated towards our goals? I think you may have touched on this response, but maybe worth mentioning again.
So I can even give a non-academic example. During my netball career, especially in matric, we played back-to-back tournaments. We played St. Andrews and also played Heronbridge. And these are literally weekends where you play about 20 games in 3 days. And there's a level of mental and body fatigue where you feel like you can't even get out of bed in the morning. And the one thing that my coach would always tell us is that these things only build character. Nothing can tear you down and you can't learn from it. So it really is just being in that state of I can't do it anymore, but it's only going to make you stronger. And reaching, you have to reach like deep down. You have to go into the basement of just your character and your strength. And you need to remind yourself of how strong you are, how capable you are, and just of how you've been in the gutters before and you've made it out and you can make it out again. So it really is dig deep. If you are religious, then look to God. If you are spiritual, manifest, meditate, and just look for something that is so deep within you and it's there. I promise you, you have that extra bit of fuel in you, and dig deep, find it, and then just grab it like this and use it.
Yeah. How do you cope with theory-heavy subjects like life sciences and business studies? Akisa says they are better with numbers than notes. They find it difficult to then absorb and remember all the theory. How did you tackle that?
So for me, business, I used flashcards. So there's Quizlet, and it's free. You make your own account, and then you literally write down your definitions, and then on the other side, explanations and like key points. Then you do your flashcards. Then I used to play charades with my study partners. Then we literally sit there and then play charades, but it would be our notes. And that just, it's fun, it's interactive, and also it really gets the information into your brain. And then also, sorry to say, but cramming. I would cram the night before my business test. I crammed, and I went in and the information was right here, and I just put it onto the page, and then I sorted it out in the paper. So theory heavy, Quizlet, use your flashcards, do a bit of cramming, but also understand the work. So don't just learn something to learn it, but learn to understand it. And especially with life science, that's going to help you all the way. Learn to understand from the get-go. Don't just memorize it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I mean, there's still so many questions. We're going to perhaps try email you a list of some of the questions, and we'll pop them into our Future Global Leaders Club website, into our group to gain some more insights from you. Thank you so much for today. I know you're going to stick around because you're looking forward to our surprise guest speaker for today.
Thank you so much for having me, Lihle, the team, all of you FGLers. I'm so proud of all of you, and I can't wait to see what you guys bring up to the world. Matrix, good luck. The war is almost over, and you're going to be great. You're going to do amazingly, and I hope to see lots of you guys here at Stellenbosch next year. And just good luck. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to hear about the speech from Dr. Keke. Thank you.